Now, if you haven't been to this lunch before, welcome. As you know now, it's a really special day, but if you were a guest at River4Ward last year, you'll recall an incredibly moving UCAN moment with young cancer patient Tess and Paralympian Kelly Cartwright. Tess shared her cancer journey so openly, honestly, and brutally with an extraordinary amount of bravery. We're privileged to have Tess's parents here today, Sue and Ben, as well as Tess's dear friend, Kelly Cartwright. Please put your hands together for Kelly Cartwright.
You'll have to excuse me. I am reading from my phone because I lost my notes and I just had them up here. Well, I'm Kelly, so thank you so much, Lauren, for interviewing me. 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer at the age of 15, which resulted in me losing my leg above the knee. Fast forward to 4 years ago, that's the reason I met my wonderful and incredible friend Tess. Tess was also going through something similar, and I became a mentor and she became a cherished friend, someone with so much strength and courage. Navigating a world with one leg is something I knew, but Tess had so many more obstacles in her way, a life of chemo, many hospital stays, away from family and friends, and also having to give up on those dreams that once a 21-year-old had. And although she did this with so much resilience, I know how much she wished that things were different. 1 year ago, I stood up here having the honour of introducing Tess as a River4Ward UCAN guest speaker, a speech that I know touched everybody, especially with the standing ovation. It highlighted the impact that cancer has on young Australians and the great work that Sony Foundation does, as well as sharing her journey on what it's like as a young woman with terminal cancer. Tess was the epitome of strength, not only in the last few years, but that day that she stood up here speaking from her heart about the battle of cancer, all the while knowing how her journey would end. She did that in hopes of helping other young Australians going through similar situations. Today I stand here to introduce Tess's mother, Sue, her best friend, her biggest advocate, and someone who wants to keep Tess's spirit alive, as well as her incredible smile. We all miss her very much, and I know this can't be easy for Sue, so please join me in welcoming her to stage to talk about her wonderful daughter, Tess.
There's only an unlucky few who have been told, or someone they love has been told, that their life is going to end early, and it changes how you see the world. It makes life so much more resonant, and it makes you hold on to moments in time and relish them so much more, which contradictorily has been a gift within itself.
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly was so generous with her time and supported Tess when she was facing the reality of amputating her leg. And Tess and Kelly became friends not only because of their shared experience, and Kelly is still a very important part of our family's life. Before cancer, Tess grew up in Anglesey with her two younger brothers and had a childhood filled with the beach, bush and nature. She was curious, eager to learn, and she formed strong opinions. She was adventurous and loved travel. Tess was very creative, which led her to live in Melbourne and be involved with acting and fashion design. She really did fit so much into her 23 years. Tess was living a normal pandemic life when her life and our family's life was turned upside down in December 2020. Tess was diagnosed with a rare cancer called metastatic osteosarcoma. When your child gets diagnosed with cancer, it feels like the whole family is diagnosed. Suddenly, our life was no longer normal, and we stepped into this parallel universe of treatment, surgeries, scans, blood tests, and numerous doctor's appointments. Until you are in this universe, you can't imagine the depth of impact that it has on your family's life. Internally, as a mother, the state of being petrified sets in. whilst outwardly trying to support Tess, our family, and appear to live normally as possible. Living regionally, the added complication of travel and accommodation was another worry to contend with. The Sony Foundation provided countless nights of accommodation so that Ben and I could be close to Tess. I can't thank them and Quest enough for making this time easier. Reflecting now that she has passed away, I'm so glad we had that precious time there. I know if we didn't have the accommodation provided, we could not have been with our beautiful daughter as often. Last year, Tess gave the audience a glimpse of what it was like to be diagnosed with cancer as a young adult, lose her leg, and be told her life was going to end. As you saw, she was so composed and eloquent and really had a great insight into what was going to happen. As a mother, I tried to love, protect, and support my children so they could become an adult and make their own way in the world. You never expect your child or your family to have to face this. Once Tess was told her cancer was incurable, the anticipatory grief as a parent you tried to hold within was often overwhelming. Although we were lucky, Tess lived a longer and more fulfilled life than was expected. I know not every family gets to make those moments in time, and I'm forever grateful that we were able to. Please know it was the small things that we did in life that we will cherish forever. It can be a lonely place when you lose a young adult to cancer. There are no support groups for this. Grief and loss is out of bounds for so many people. People don't know what to do or say. Innocent questions like, "How are you?" and "How many children do you have?" take on a new significance. No one prepares you for talking to your child or young adult about their death. Although having difficult conversations was confronting, with that I became so much closer to Tess. I am thankful that I had such a beautiful relationship with my daughter. Our lives have been shattered by the loss of Tess. After almost 3 years of fighting osteosarcoma, Tess passed away. Although I can be grateful for all I have, I am also grieving for the life we have lost. The point is, and never will be, to stop the grief. That is like stopping the ocean, which Tess loved to swim in so much. The point is to find ways to swim with the ocean. I walk along the beach at Anglesey most days and contemplate, how will I swim again? One thing that happens when you lose someone you love deeply, you don't want them to be forgotten or their name not to be spoken. I want to thank the Sony Foundation for keeping Tess's name alive and acknowledging the contribution she made in raising awareness of young adult cancer. It is important to us that we talk about Tess, share memories, and remember her love. So thank you, Sony Foundation, for caring for Tess and our family during Tess's treatment and after her death. I hope that you can all support and donate to families like ours who need the You Can Stay program. Thank you.